Here is the uncomfortable truth about your developer resume. When a recruiter finally opens it, they spend about 6 or 7 seconds on that first scan. And often, before any human sees it at all, an automated system, an applicant tracking system, has already decided whether you make the pile. So your resume has to survive two very different readers. A machine that schemes for keywords, and a busy human who schemes for signal. Most resumes fail one or both. In the next few minutes I will show you the exact template that survives both, section by section, with the bullet formula that turns duties into interviews. Start with the two gatekeepers, because everything about the layout is designed for them. Gatekeeper 1 is the applicant tracking system, the ATS. It parses your file into plain text and matches it against the job description. Miss the keywords, or use a layout it cannot read, and you can be filtered out before a person ever looks. Gatekeeper 2 is the human. When your resume clears the software, a recruiter or engineer gives it that first 6 to 7 second scan. They are not reading, they are pattern matching for a few things: your title, your stack, your most impressive result. So the goal is simple. Be machine readable for the first gate, and instantly skimmable for the second. Design for both, and you do not have to choose. Let us build the template top to bottom. Order matters, because the top third is what gets read in those first seconds. At the very top, your name, and one short line naming your role: back-end engineer, full-stack developer. No street address, no photo. Next, your links: GitHub, LinkedIn, and a portfolio or personal site if you have one. Make them real, clickable, and worth clicking. Then skills, grouped and keyword-rich, languages, frameworks, databases, tools, in clean categories, not one giant blur. Then experience, in reverse chronological order, most recent job first. This is the heart of the resume. Then projects, especially if you are early career and your side work is stronger than your job history. And finally education, near the bottom for most developers. If you have under about 10 years of experience, keep the whole thing to one page. Now the single highest leverage skill in this whole video: how to write a bullet point. This is where most resumes quietly die. Every strong bullet follows one formula: an action verb, what you actually built, and the measurable impact. Built X that did Y, improving Z by some amount. Here is the difference. A weak bullet reads, responsible for the payment service. That is a job description. It says nothing about you. The strong version, rebuilt the payment service in Go, cutting checkout latency by about 40% and handling 200,000 orders a day. Same job, but now it is an accomplishment, with a verb, a technology, and a result. Lead with the verb. Built, shipped, migrated, automated, reduced, led. Never start a bullet with responsible for. You were not responsible for it, you did it. Say what you did. Notice what made that bullet land: the numbers. So the next rule is, quantify everything you honestly can. Numbers make a claim concrete and believable. Percentages, latency, users, requests per second, dollars saved, time saved, the size of the team you led, the scale of the data you touched. A reader's eye stops on a number. Compare these. Improved performance of the API. Versus, cut average API response time from about 800 milliseconds to under 200. The second one you can picture. The first one is noise. And when you genuinely cannot measure something, show scope instead. How many users relied on it? How large the code base was? How many services it touched? Scope is a number too. The point is not to fake precision, it is to replace vague adjectives with something a reader can weigh. Now let us make sure a machine can actually read all of this. This is where clever designs backfire. Use standard section headings, the literal words: experience, skills, education. The parser is looking for exactly those. Do not get creative with, where I've made magic. Avoid anything the ATS cannot parse, no tables, no multi-column layouts, no text baked into images or graphics, no headshots, no fancy icons standing in for words. A human sees a slick two-column design, the parser sees scrambled, out-of-order text, or nothing at all. Use a normal, common font and a simple single-column layout. Save and send as a PDF unless the posting specifically asks for a Word document. And mirror the language of the job post, honestly. If they say React and CI/CD, and you have genuinely done those, use their exact words, not a clever synonym. Match their vocabulary, never claim a skill you cannot back up. That mirroring points to the highest return habit of all, tailoring. A targeted resume beats a generic one, almost every time. You do not need to rewrite the whole thing for every application. You need to adjust the top third, your title line, your skills order, and your first few bullets, so they line up with this specific role. Read the job post. Notice the 3 or 4 things it asks for most. Then make sure those exact things are visible in the part of your resume that gets read first. A back-end role should not open with your CSS animations. A generic resume says, I am a developer. A tailored one says, I am the developer you just described. That reframing, on a per-job basis, is what turns applications into interviews. Before we recap, here are the common killers, the things that get an otherwise good resume thrown out. Typos and sloppy formatting. For an engineer, careless mistakes read as careless work. Proofread, then have someone else proofread. Walls of dense text. If every bullet is 3 lines long, none of them get read. Keep bullets tight, 1 to 2 lines. Listing technology you cannot actually discuss. If it is on the resume, it is fair game in the interview. Never pad your stack with tools you have only heard of. Responsible for, everywhere, instead of real impact. We covered the fix, verbs and numbers. And length. 3 pages for a junior developer is a red flag, not a flex. 1 page until you have serious experience. Respect the 6 seconds. So here is the whole checklist in one frame. Structure, name and title, links, grouped skills, experience, projects, education, 1 page under about 10 years. Bullets, action verb, what you built, measurable impact, never, responsible for. Quantify everything, or show scope when you cannot measure. Survive the ATS, standard headings, no tables or columns or images, normal font, PDF, honest keyword mirroring. Tailor the top third to each role. And kill the killers, typos, walls of text, unbackable tech, and 3-page junior resumes. Design for both gatekeepers, and your resume stops getting filtered and starts getting interviews. That is the template, machine readable for the software, instantly skimmable for the human, and built around bullets that prove impact instead of listing duties. The winners all do the same boring thing, verbs, numbers, 1 page, tailored to the role. I put the full written guide, with a copy-paste resume template, at the link below. And if you want the complete job search system, resume, portfolio, and interview prep together, the Developer Job Hunt Pack is linked in the description. $29, completely optional. Subscribe for more honest developer career breakdowns, and I will see you in the next one.